Hello everybody, Keith here with Math, Fun and Games. Today we're going to continue my series of videos on main battle tank. I'm doing the basic scenario using the basic rules, and today we're going to be on turn 2. Okay. So the first phase that you do is going to be the spotting phase. I'm going to pull up the chart B. I'm going to pull up there. Sequence of play, spotting phase. Now as I zoom in, you'll see that the units that were moved last time have movement markers on them, and the one unit that fired has a fire marker on it. So who is spotted? Where do we start? So let's look at this hex right here. So that hex and that hex, I'm pretty sure are going to be spotted. Let's do a line of sight check. Let's go out a bit. Okay. So that's a range of 21. They're both on the same level. There is no intervening terrain that could block it. So the units in that hex are spotted, and also the units in the hex next to it are spotted by both of these, by this entire platoon of tanks. So I'm going to leave these spotted markers on the top of the hill here. These units there on the top of the hill are going to remain spotted. Now headed into the other direction, if you remember, the range is 21 hexes. Let's remove this. Since these units right here, those units right here, since spotting works in both directions, and since these vehicles right here either fire or moved, these units are all spotted on that. Continuing, so that takes care of the hills. These 3 units right here in between the hills, are they spotted? That's the question. So the issue is, there's a unit right here, and it would have a direct line of sight to these 3. Well, it wouldn't, because there's light woods here. Now the question is, can these units that are on this hill over here see these units? And the only reason that might be an issue is you have this orchard, which is the equivalent of light woods. These are height of 3. These units up here are at a height of 3. So in effect, these light woods block line of sight. So these units right here are not spotted. So I'm going to remove the spotted markers. In MBT, I'm noticing that I'm noticing that the trees are height 3 or height 4. And they block very easily. How about these units in these woods over here? Are they spotted? Let's look at the first one. That is spotted by this tank over here. And the second unit is spotted. The third unit, however, is not spotted because it's behind the trees. So that's not spotted. And back here, we got some units back here. So I'm going to pull back and we'll see if these units are spotted. I'm going kind of slow. Okay, so I'm turning on line of sight. We're going from the unit on this hill. Range isn't an issue because they're moving. Normally the spotting range is 20 hexes, but they're moving, so it shifts it up. And they're not in any type of cover. So the first unit is definitely spotted. That unit right there is spotted. How about the second unit? Oops, I don't want to move the tank. We're on line of sight again. Is the second unit spotted? Well, it crosses this kind of like undulation in the terrain. So that's going to create a blind spot. Question is, what size of blind spot? So I'm going to go to my line hex chart. So I find it. All right, so I did my spotting round. These units on top of the hill are all spotted. They're spotted because there are these units up here. They're on the same level. These units that are at a little bit lower level are not spotted because there's woods everywhere you look, and the woods are level 3, which block line of sight. These units, this whole platoon of tanks coming up on the left, are spotted by this American unit, and the spotting goes both directions. These units over here are blocked by the trees. How about over here on the American left? These units coming up on the American left, I believe, are also blocked by the trees. Let's just check that out. And see if this goes through a tree hex. Oh yeah, that wall of trees right there blocks line of sight. Okay. So they are not spotted. So I can remove the spot markers from there. Removing the spot markers. There we go. And right click and delete. Okay. So that's the spotting phase. These two units right here. The line of sight was blocked by this little ridge over here and also blocked by this woods, the top of these trees. Okay, so now we go to the command phase. All these units at the top of the hill, they're all spotted. I have to put a spot marker on them. And I'm going to give all these units over here a fire command. So this is the command phase. And we're going to give these units fire commands. So game marker, fire commands. I'm just going to put one fire marker over here for convenience sake, because they're all They're all doing the same command. So these units, three units sneaking up on the right, I'm going to give those units a move command. I'm just going to put a move right next to it to indicate that they're moving. There's 2 units back here. I'm going to put a move command on those. These 2 units, I'm going to give them a short haul command. I'm going to give the second one a short haul command. The first one, I'm going to give a fire command to. And that third one, I'm going to give a move command to. So these 3 tanks over there in the center, they're all going to get move commands. I believe that's it for the Americans. So every American unit has a command now. How about the Russians? All these units over here, that whole platoon on the left, I'm going to give them all fire commands. They're all going to stop and fire at the Americans. And each one of these individual units does have its own command because it's the basic game. As you go into the advanced game, units can share commands because you have fewer commands than you have units. We'll go into that later. So these Russians at the top of the hill are getting fire commands, and these units going down the hill are going to be given move commands. Right there. Okay. And I didn't use any Overwatch yet. We'll do it, but we'll do some Overwatch next time. Okay. So that's the command phase. I'm going to zoom in a little bit just to show you what I got going on. So these units up on a hill, for spawning purposes, they were moving, and they all have a fire command. Over here on the left, these 2 units have a move command. Over here, I gave one of these units a short halt, one of these units a fire command. These units in the center have a move command. These units down here all have fire commands. Up on a hill, these non-spawned units all have move commands, and these units on the hill have fire commands. Going back to the sequence of play, we did the spotting phase, we did the command phase. Now we're going to do the initiative phase. The initiative phase is a straight 100. So it's a straight 100 die roll. There are force grade modifiers, but we're not going to use those because those are for the advanced game. After the initiative phase, you have 2 air phases. But we're not going to have this in the basic game, but I'm just teaching. You're going to have an air phase, then you have the combat phase, then the movement phase, and then you have the second air phase. In the future, when we do the advanced game, helicopters can move and fire in both air phases. Fixed wing aircraft have to choose either the first air phase or the second air phase. Right now, we only have direct fire in the combat phase. However, in the advanced game, you'll have indirect fire, then direct fire. In the movement phase, we're just moving units. But when you add leg units and towed units, You'll have a close assault hand-to-hand combat step in the movement phase, and an over on combat step in the movement phase. And then you have the adjustment phase, which is just cleaning up the board pretty much. Okay, that's it. I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to do the combat phase because I want to keep my videos short. I thank everybody for watching my videos.